guys, and welcome to Awesome Bundesliga. We had many surprises again in the German Cup, and now we are going to analyze the 20th match day of the Bundesliga with Radek Vegas. But I also want to know your opinion, so let me know what you think in the comment section, and you will have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. Besides, do not forget to click on the like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel, and click on the bell to get all the notifications. And now let's go on with the tips. We have the 20th match day of the Bundesliga after more surprises in the German Cup. So let's analyze every game with Radek Vegas. Hello, Radek.
Hey Eduardo, looking forward to this game day. There was a big surprise in the cup game. Bayer Leverkusen lost against Rot-Weiß Essen from League 4. That is why sports betting is gambling, and that is why every single event is depends on luck, and you only can make profit in the long run if you are betting on value bets, and we're going to find some on this game day as we do every time.
Exactly, that's why we are here, to find the value bets, starting with the game on Friday. Let's start with Hertha Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is playing on Friday because later they are gonna play the FIFA World Cup after winning the Champions League last year, and they are in good form as always. They beat 4-1 Hoffenheim, always Lewandowski scoring, so 4 straight victories for Bayern, and now they are traveling to the capital to meet a team that is going down and down in the table. Radek, even with the new manager, with Dardai, of course, only one game, and they lost against Eintracht Frankfurt, and they are now with the same points as the playoffs, so be careful for Hertha.
It's getting harder and harder for them, and they have tough opponents. I think they have to concentrate on collecting their points against the lower teams in their surrounding in the standings, and not against Bayern Munich. But as we know, last season they made close games against Bayern, and I think they have the potential to keep the game close, because Bayern is playing the club championship, as you said, in Qatar, and maybe they will kind of rotate, and they are way above in the standings. They have 7 points advanced of Leipzig. They can afford to lose 2 games and still are first, and that's why I think Bayern won't go 100% in this game, and Hertha has to strike back and has to give everything. And with their new old coach Paul Dardai, I think they can make it close. And we have to look at the odds, and what I always do is to look at the line where the odds are around 2.0 with the Asian handicaps, and we get 1.75 on Hertha, which is a kind of complicated. Maybe it's easier to understand if you take Asian handicap plus on Hertha. Means if they lose with 2 goals behind, you get your money back, and if they only lose with 1 goal behind, you win this odd of 1.78. Is this a good bet? Don't think so, because Bayern Munich always can win with 2 goals in advantage against any team in the world. Even Barcelona, where they won with 7 or 6 goals in advantage. And another story, so what is more likely, to win Bayern with 2 goals in advantage or to keep Hertha it close? I think the Asian handicap on Bayern Munich minus 1.5 is still good enough, but enough said, they have a lot of games to go in the future, and that's why I think it's critical to bet on Hertha, because you never know. And so I really don't find anything where I'm really happy.
Okay, then no bet here, although you gave some options depending on what you think, if Hertha is gonna keep the score close or Bayern is gonna thrash another rival. Then let's move on. On Saturday, we have Augsburg, Wolfsburg, and Wolfsburg is one of the best teams in the Bundesliga right now in Champions League positions. They are also in the next round of the German Cup after beating Schalke. Weghorst is scoring again, and they are coming from 3 victories in a row in the Bundesliga, so a really reliable team right now. Traveling to Augsburg, which is not a reliable team at all right now. They came after a defeat against Dortmund, and in the last 5 games, Radek, 4 defeats for them.
Yeah, but they had good opponents like Dortmund and Bayern, and so yeah, same here. They have to collect their points against other teams, and don't forget they won against Union Berlin, and I think Augsburg, is not that bad. They lost against Dortmund 3-1, but they made a really stupid own goal, and so I think, it's not a clear win for Wolfsburg here because they struggled a bit in the past. The cup game was very, very close. They only won 1-0. Weghorst was shooting a penalty and the keeper could stop it, but Weghorst made it anyway, and this was the only goal against Schalke. So this was not really brilliant. They might be tired after this cup game, and also in the Bundesliga they won the games, or they could take 1 point, but it was not so special. They are a strong team, but I think if you look at the odds, I have a problem with the 1.9 on Wolfsburg here because I think it's likely to end in a draw. I really won't bet here because I think Wolfsburg is always good enough to win games because they are in mental good situation. They are fighting, but Augsburg is better than the bookies give them the odds. And what I like here is a draw with 3.75 on, or maybe we go on Asian handicap plus 0.5 on Augsburg, which gives us 2.05, which means draw or win. Augsburg will win the bet, but anyway, I like the draw most with risking only 1/3 of a unit.
Then let's stay with the draw. The next game, 2 teams that also played in the cup, Bayer Leverkusen and Stuttgart, but both lost. You mentioned at the beginning of the video how Leverkusen lost in the extra time against Essen, regional team, back-to-back defeats also in the Bundesliga against Leipzig and Wolfsburg. So going down, and Stuttgart, they lost against Gladbach. But they are good in the Bundesliga. They beat again Mainz, so they won't have any problems for sure this season to stay again in the Bundesliga. I don't know if you think that Leverkusen is going to bounce back with these odds of 2.0 more or less.
Yeah, you have to kind of expect that Leverkusen has to bounce back. But there's a problem with their coach. Peter Bosch was coach at Dortmund some years ago, and maybe you remember he started brilliantly. He won several games in a row, and suddenly they lost 1 game and another game and another, and he couldn't win any game and he was fired. And it seems like this is kind of a Bosch effect. He's good at the beginning and then he sucks completely, and maybe we expect the same in Leverkusen here, because after a brilliant first round of the season, Leverkusen seems doing harder and harder, and losing against a team from League 4 is an alarm signal for me. On the other hand, we have Stuttgart, who is the second best away team, and they collected most of their points away. So I really expect Leverkusen to bounce back, but I don't trust them a lot, and to bet on Asian handicap plus 0.5 on Stuttgart is for me with 1.9 a good thing you can do. But maybe I have a better bet. I think both teams can score here. but the odds on both to score is only 1.5. So the bookies also expect that there is no value if the odds are so low. But I think, both teams have good strikers. Silas from Stuttgart scored 10 or 11 times in the Bundesliga, 11 times in his first season. This is awesome. And he made an amazing goal in the cup against Gladbach. So I think Stuttgart is good enough to score against Leverkusen, but the odds are not really good. I write it on my paper for an accumulator later.
So here we go for both teams to score. Stuttgart is a handicap plus 0.5 or no bet?
I think both to score in the accumulator with 1.5. It's okay.
Okay, then Leverkusen and Stuttgart, two teams that lost in the cup, and after we have a very tough game, in my opinion, also to bet. Let's see what you think. Freiburg, Borussia Dortmund, because the odds for Borussia Dortmund are very low, 1.7, and they are visiting a team that is really in form, like Freiburg, although they lost in the last weekend against Wolfsburg very easily, 3-0. But in the last 11 Bundesliga games, Freiburg only lost against Bayern and Wolfsburg. And I'm not sure if Dortmund is that good now. Also, Radek, they beat Paderborn, but in the extra time with Haaland scoring again. And in the Bundesliga, they are not a reliable team.
Yes, and this goal against Paderborn was really, really unfair if you watch the game and the repetitions. Because the referee said it was someone from Paderborn on the ball, and you can't see it in the video. And the referee didn't watch the video, and the video assistant was not really doing a good job here. So this was very, very lucky for Dortmund to make this goal. They were, of course, a better team, but they had really, really big problems. And in the league, okay, they won against Augsburg. This was a game back to normal. I really don't like the odds on Dortmund because they are really realistic, I think, and that's why we don't find value there. It's too dangerous to bet on Dortmund, but anyway, I think they must win against Freiburg. They had some problems at Freiburg in the past, so this is another really tough game, as you said. I won't really touch this, and if you want my opinion, I would say Dortmund wins with 2-1, but that is nothing to bet on because the odds are a little bit too small. And on the other hand, to bet on Freiburg here, you get Asian handicap +1, which is 1.9. Could be attractive if you are a Freiburg supporter. I really have some problems with them because they won too much games. Nobody expected them to only lose 2 games in 11. And in the first round of the season, they had problems at the beginning. They were at the relegation zone, and now they are playing against these opponents they've had to face there. So I think this could be a repeat of the story, and Freiburg will go down a bit, and that's why I don't want to bet on them. On the other hand, odds on Dortmund are too small here.
All right, then no bet here, not clear bet. Let's move on. Mainz, Union Berlin is the next game, with Mainz in the relegation zone, 7 points away from salvation. They lost with Stuttgart after this shocking victory against Leipzig, their last home game, and now they face Union Berlin, who draw against Gladbach. That's a good result, but they are not that well in this stage of the season. They were probably overperforming, and the odds for Union Berlin victory, which I guess is the logical thing, 2.4.
Yeah, and this is finally a thing where I am happy and confident with. I would take this risky bet to win Union Berlin with 2.4. That does not mean that this is a 100% sure bet, because as you said, never forget, Mainz won against Leipzig, and they have a new coach who makes them better, and they have the potential to step up in the table. But they also sold their best striker Mateta. So yeah, the bet on Union Berlin is a kind of risky, but it's value. But anyway, we have to take it. Maybe for safety first people, you can go on Asian Handicap 0 on Union Berlin. You get 1.7, because the risk that Mainz wins this game is, yeah, it's low compared to the big odds we get on Union Berlin. And so we have to take risks in sports betting, and that's why Asian Handicap 0 for the accumulator and clear win for a single bet on Union Berlin.
Okay, in the next one, probably you won't trust as well the home team, Schalke Leipzig, the worst team of this Bundesliga, against the second in the standing. Schalke lost again in the cup against Wolfsburg. They are a little bit more competitive now. They drew against Werder Bremen in the last game, but I mean, this is being completely optimistic about Schalke and Leipzig. They were able to thrash Bochum in the German Cup after beating Leverkusen, so things normal for the second best team for sure in this year in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and for everyone who is not overthinking this game, should say, if you have to bet on a result, it's about a 4-0 for Leipzig. I think that is the result they made in the last season, or in the first round of this season. Leipzig won 4-0 at home, and last season they won 5-0 at Schalke. And as you said, Schalke is getting better a bit, but I didn't watch the cup game against Wolfsburg, only the highlights, but I watched them playing in the Bundesliga against Werder Bremen. They lead until minute 70, but this was not a really good game of them. Werder Bremen was close to the winning goal, and that's why, yeah, we have to bet on Leipzig here. But to know that Leipzig is also struggling in the Bundesliga, they they lost against Mainz, what I said, and Mainz is about the same like Schalke in things. But to bet on Asian Handicap minus 1.5 gives us odds of around 2.0. That means Leipzig has to win with 2 goals in advantage, and I think this is possible. This is a must, and that's why I would take this as a single bet on Leipzig.
Okay, the last game we have on Saturday, Gladbach Cologne. Gladbach also went through in the German Cup, beating Stuttgart on the road, and in the Bundesliga they drew against Union Berlin, but they were coming from back-to-back victories. They are in a very good run in 2021. Radek, 5 victories, 2 draws, so really good form for Gladbach. And they are facing Cologne, who was also a big surprise in the cup, getting kicked out by the Bundesliga 2 team, Jan Regensburg. And in the Bundesliga, they are not doing bad lately. They beat Bielefeld and Schalke, the teams that they need to beat. So probably they will travel to Gladbach, not with hopes not to get points.
Yeah, several points here. This is a derby. The cities are really close to each other, and on the other hand, there are no fans in the stadium and no atmosphere like it is in normal situations. Gladbach seems to be better because Cologne lost after leading 2-0 against the second league team, Jan Regensburg, and they lost after penalty. They missed a penalty in the regular time, and that is why I think this is kind of a breaker for Cologne. They made some good games in the Bundesliga. They have really fast and talented young players, but I think their coach don't reach them and are not motivating them till the end. That's why they not winning a game against a minor team with leading 2-0. I think they will show another face against a good team like Mönchengladbach, but this should not be enough. But Gladbach maybe, is not 100% concentrated. They had a tough game against Stuttgart in the cup, where they only won 2-1, which was also very close, because I think the second goal of Gladbach was kind of offside. The video assistant didn't see it. I analyzed it. I draw lines on my television screen, and I think it was offside. But anyway, they won, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw here and Cologne strikes back, but this is a highly speculative situation. So in normal case, we bet on Gladbach here. The odds on Gladbach 1.5 are really low. So I will go Asian handicap -1 on Gladbach. Means if they win with 1 goal in advantage, you get your money back. If they win with 2 goals, you win the bet. So maybe we even can go the same like Leipzig. It's a bit riskier to bet on Asian handicap -1.5 on Gladbach, but has almost the same outcome, but you win a lot more if they really win with 2 goals in advantage. You get odds of 2.4. And this is another risky bet on a favorite here for me. Gladbach Asian handicap -1.5 at odds of 2.4. Kind of safe bet, only Gladbach win for the accumulator with 1.5.
Okay, the Gladbach Asian handicap -1. The odds we find in Notspedia.com is 1.89. That's the safest bet for Radek, who is also working for the video assistant in his free time. He goes to the German Cup and help the referees who are making mistakes in Germany. On Sunday, Radek, this is a very good game, interesting in my opinion. Hoffenheim Eintracht, because the team from Frankfurt are doing really good. They beat Hertha with Andrés Silva scoring a brace, so it's not only Jovic, but especially Andrés Silva, 16 goals scored this season. So after Lewandowski, he's the best striker in this season. And in the last 7 Bundesliga games for Frankfurt, 6 victories and only 1 draw. So they are really good. And Hoffenheim, they were good. They won 2 games in a row, Hertha, Cologne, but last weekend they faced Bayern Munich. So of course they lost. So here the odds for Eintracht are really high, actually.
Yes, and this is a bit too high, because they are on fire. They are really working well, and you can't say this to Hoffenheim, that has really huge problems, and I think their coach is with 1 leg fired. But in this game, it's dangerous, because I'm always aware of trends, because Frankfurt, this trend is a way too good to be true for Frankfurt to win 6 games, because they are a good team, but they are really not that good to compete in the Champions League spots. This is why the other teams are not performing well, like Dortmund or even Gladbach. And that's why it's a danger, because Hoffenheim is underperforming. I think they have to turn around and win someday and maybe strike back. But on the other hand, Frankfurt is too strong. And to consider the strength of the teams and the odds, I think the value is on Frankfurt here. I would place the odds on 2.0 on Frankfurt maybe. The bookmakers give us 2.3, so we have a little bit of value here, and a win on Frankfurt is a risky thing, because I'm aware of a draw here as well, but risky bet Frankfurt win 2.0, and accumulator bet could be Asian handicap on Frankfurt, maybe Asian handicap 0. This, Frankfurt Asian handicap 0 for an accumulator is a good thing.
Then for single bet, we go Frankfurt to win, odds 2.3 on oddspedia.com. The last game we have in this match day, Arminia Bielefeld, Werder Bremen, with Bielefeld going down to the playoff positions. Again, in risk of relegation. They lost 3-1 against Cologne after losing 1-5 against Frankfurt, whereas Werder Bremen, they beat Greuther Fürth in the cup. They drew against Schalke, but in the last 5 Bundesliga games, only 1 defeat, so they are not bad at all right now.
Yes, I think they do the best out of their situation, and like Bremen also does. I think both are really fighting for each point and each meter or yard on the pitch, and I like both of them, and would be a bit of sad if Arminia couldn't keep the league. But on the other hand, they don't score a lot of goals. They have only 15 goals, baddest offensive line together with Schalke. They also scored only 15 goals. But their defense is not bad, only conceded 32 games. And on the other hand, Werder Bremen also has a really good defense. They only conceded 27 goals, and this is less than Eintracht Frankfurt on place 4. And this is only 1 goal more than Bayern Munich has. And that's why I think it's hard for Arminia Bielefeld to score here. Maybe Bremen can keep a clean sheet against Bielefeld because their attackers are really no danger at all. And that's why I think the value is on Bremen. And they won in the cup game 2-0. That's also a thing you can rate positive because they won, but they might be also a bit exhausted and not 100% fit in this game. But anyway, the odds on Bremen with 2.55 after the last games, I'm really confident that Bremen is not losing this game. It's risky to bet on a Bremen win for sure. You can always expect a draw here. A risky single bet would be Bremen win with 2.55. Accumulator on Bremen with Asian handicap 0 gives us 1.77. So we have a lot of Asian handicap 0 games in the accumulator. But yeah, you have always to look at what is safety bets for accumulators. There are no safety bets, and it's really hard to make money with accumulators. That's why I don't bet them only with really small money.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you, Radek, because our audience is asking us about the Radek's accumulators. They really love them and they love your tips. So even if you are not a big fan of ACCAs, but you can give us some advice, special one. Yeah,
I have 5 games where I consider to make accumulator. Maybe you only find 3 of them for your bet, and this is Bayer Leverkusen, Stuttgart, both teams to score, obviously, and Union Berlin, Asian handicap 1.7. Gladbach wins at home 1.5. Frankfurt, Asian handicap 0, 1.75. Brilliant. This is my favorite bet on this game day. If you ask me what is the best bet, I think Asian handicap 0 on Frankfurt 1.75 as a single bet with about 2 units would be fine. Don't overpace. Always bet a small amount of your whole betting bankroll. So there always be things like Mainz win at Freiburg or Leverkusen loses a cup game. And these games break you if you bet too much on it. And the last game, Bremen Asian handicap 0 with 1.77. Altogether, I have to calculate for you 1.5, 1.7, 1.5, 1.75, 1.77 gives us a complete odd of 11.86 if all 5 games are the way I predict. And yeah, the good thing is if there are some draws we are safe with the accumulator because Asian Handicap 0 means this game is cancelled. You don't lose the accumulator, but you only cancel this game out of your calculation. So this is a thing to consider. Accumulators with Asian Handicap 0, so you're kind of insuranced against draws.
Perfect then, Radek. We have all the games, we have your ACCA, so we will see each other next week to analyze the next match day of Bundesliga. Thanks, Radek.
Thanks, was fun. Bye.
We have our ACCA from Radek. I hope you enjoyed the video, but I also want to know your opinion. So let me know what you think in the comment section, and you will also have the chance to win a £10 free bet with Novibet. Write a comment to participate in the draw, and do not forget to click on the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to get all the notifications. Also, you can listen to all our videos in our podcast, and next week we have more Radek Vegas, we have more Bundesliga.